Yeah, so I just thought I'd go live for a bit. Got my son tomorrow, innit? And this, I can't find Goodfellas, innit? I was trying to look on the fucking, trying to look on the Netflix. Um, I'm on the live one. I'm on live, don't I? Alright, sorry, this is gone, innit? Oh yeah, so fuck, I can't really find Goodfellas, innit? I'm telling you. How you doing? You're the only person in here at the moment. There's loads of other lives going on, innit? But I thought I'd see who's around, innit? How are you, mate? It's just, oh, got a few more now. Numbers are bopping up, innit? I wanted to watch Goodfellas, innit? But it ain't on YouTube, it ain't on Netflix. And my fire sticks are those fucking crap, mate. Dean Lynch Wall might join in a minute. I've just texted to someone alive. Oh, it's every year. I thought a few people would watch this over the weekend, innit? What the fuck is the matter with you, Tommy? Are you fucking crazy? He was probably the best character in it, innit? Mind you, they were all good, weren't they? Like fucking Joe Pesci, like Joe Pesci, he done that Tommy in that, and he was that Psycho Casino. Then you see him in fucking Home Alone as Marv, the burglar in Home Alone. It's a bit crazy, all right, John, Mark, everyone. We're going to be watching it, innit? Oh, he was good in that, and the Godfather fella, innit? Paulie. Only let one person at a time speak to him. I first saw it in '92. Yeah, how old are you? 13. So you were born in '79. See, I was born in '78, innit? So yeah, like I was the same age, mate. It changed television, really, didn't it? It was unbelievable. I mean, if like when you saw the Goodfellas film, I think that the Godfather had a bigger effect on the older people, innit? But Goodfellas for people like our sort of age then, that film come along, innit? And everyone wanted to be a gangster, didn't they? But they weren't quite the same in England, was it? Weren't quite the same as in the fucking mafia. It's probably one of the best films of all time, right? For me, probably you as well, Ben. Probably my favourite film, isn't it? I mean, if Ben was 13 when he first watched it, how many times has he watched it since then? How many times have all of us, isn't it? Someone this weekend. I don't know who's got it. Like, if it's probably Amazon, isn't it, or somebody's got the Goodfellas film. One of these fucking big companies that do it. They're going to be fucking smashing it this weekend, aren't they? Like, it definitely ain't on fucking Netflix. It's one of them ones you normally have around on a DVD, innit? But I can't find it. I've got every other DVD I've ever owned, but I can't find that one. Someone's probably stolen it, haven't they? Because even the cover's good. And see the picture I've got on the avatar. You know that bit, innit? That's where he's saying, "You're a funny guy. Funny how? Like a fucking clown." But you can see he's a little bit worried there, isn't he, Ray Liotta? He's like, "Fuck me, is Tommy going to go fucking crazy on me?" And then he fucks around, doesn't he? And plays the joke again, and Joe Pesci gets up and starts jumping like a fucking madman. Yeah, rest in peace. There are other films he's been in, aren't there? There's a lot of other films he's been in, but Goodfellas is the one, isn't it? Like I can't think of any other film, but I know films he's been in. I just can't think what they're called. There's one with Anthony Hopkins where that he's bullying this woman in this village. I think it's on Netflix. In fact, I'm gonna have a look on Netflix actually now and just type Ray Liotta, see what Ray Liotta films are on there. Because although can't watch fucking Goodfellas, there's got to be another fucking Ray Liotta film, isn't it? There's got to be. I only come on quick tonight. That was good with Wendy earlier, wasn't it? Like Paulie from Goodfellas, or Joey Pyle was like the fucking British Paulie, wasn't he? Yeah, all good, all good. The numbers are low, innit? There's a lot. I've just seen the cesspit and all that are on, innit? Like I'll just come on quickly, and I've got my son tomorrow. Everyone going to be watching the football tomorrow night. There's boxing and all on there. Some kind of boxing on the weekend, isn't there? Someone will know. You know, like when you have to do stuff on the TV with a fucking remote and you have to type it in, it's fucking annoying, isn't it? Like going back to the fucking, as my son calls it, the olden days. Ray Liotta. I think Madrid will. He thinks Madrid, yeah. Unlawful entry. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. You'd think Netflix would be pumping out the fucking Ray Liotta as soon as you write Ray, wouldn't you? But it ain't. Ray, Netflix must have one fucking Ray Liotta film on there. No way. You won't believe it. They haven't got any Ray Liotta films on Netflix whatsoever. That's a fucking tragedy, isn't it? Not one film. The nearest they got to that is the fucking Irishman, and that ain't that good actually. It's all right, but it ain't right. That ain't like that, is it? There's Blow come up at the top. He ain't in that fucking Blow, is he? Ray Liotta's not in Blow. He's not in that one. That's pretty shit, isn't it? They should be a fucking ashamed of themselves. Spending all their fucking money on fucking narcos, aren't they? Sending their fucking people out to the fucking fine fucking places to film and they're getting whacked, aren't they? The fucking Mexican cartel, mate. They fucking whacked one of the Netflix people, innit, and told them to not come to Mexico, innit? So, like, what did they do? They just fucked and fucking sent someone else, didn't they? I don't know how much of that's properly filmed in Mexico, though, you know. Hi, Steve. How you doing? I don't know how much of that's actually filmed in Mexico. That's fucking shit. Maybe YouTube's gonna have a radio. All right, Plastic Paddy. Mate, sorry, I fucking tried to get over to you earlier, didn't I? I tried to get everyone over, innit? But that Dougie cancelled, didn't he? He cancelled at like fucking 20 past 8. So I put it on. Nah, I ain't ready, man. I've got my son tomorrow, innit? But I can. If you want to come in, innit, for a bit, we can have. I can stay up for a bit, no problem. Yeah, so Dougie cancelled, and then I had Wendy in, and like they just talk, just couldn't get over. But I did catch the end of Dean's, and Dean's just tried to ring me, and I messaged him back to say he can come in if he wants to. Um, Oh yeah, 3D Fight Club fan. Rest in peace, big. Yes, big loss to the film industry. Big loss to. That's a good thing though. Do you know, like if you're an actor, yeah, and you die, yeah, you die, yeah, but you're fucking, you always be remembered, wouldn't you? But like, like for people like us, innit? Like, don't really get that, do you? I mean, how many people, like, genuinely yesterday, like, I was quite fucking heartbroken when I saw it, on the news. And they say 67. It's young, but it depends what life you've lived, doesn't it? See, like Ozzy Osbourne, it fucking irritates me when I see that cunt still walking around fit as a fiddle, yeah? The amount of drugs he's took, isn't it? Well, it don't actually irritate me, but there are other people who have died who have lived a much healthier kind of lifestyle, haven't they? And, fucking, like Mark Potter, for instance, the boxer, Big Mark fucking Potter, like, he's just got some kind of cancer, isn't it? Um, Like, and he's been healthy all his life, hasn't it? And you got fucking Ozzy Osbourne fucking dropping like 90 E's just for a laugh with all his mates, isn't it? And getting fucked, and then kicking the fuck out of Sharon Osbourne, didn't he? Slapped her up because he had too many fucking E's, isn't it? But yeah, he's a bit of a fucking, he's a bit naughty, isn't he, when he was on the old fucking drugs. But see that Sharon Osbourne, yeah, she could have a little tear up and all, couldn't she? Remember on fucking X Factor. Chris Tarrant made a little joke, didn't he? It was only a little fucking joke. She stood up, didn't she, in front of the whole fucking crowd. And there was kids there, wasn't it? Called him a cunt, didn't she? And then sat down and went, sorry to all the children, but I'm sorry. But I had to stick up for my husband. And Tarrant sat there like, fuck me. Open the ground. Open the ground and fucking eat me. He was scared, wasn't he? He shit himself. He was like, fucking hell. Why did I ever take Who Wants to Be a Millionaire off Saturday nights? Otherwise, I would have been there, wouldn't I? And she wouldn't have been able to do that. Imagine Simon and that sitting there. They was all like embarrassed, weren't they? I was like, fuck me. No, the old trash mouse coming out tonight, isn't it? With her fucking hell. Then they brought that fucking girl in, didn't they? Or was that the other one? You know, the one that does the fucking Dairy, the yogurt adverts. She used to be in that band with all the other girls, isn't it? Nicole Scherzinger. She's quite nice, isn't she? Really nice, to be fair. She took Ed Sheeran out, didn't she? And she broke him as a man. He couldn't deal with it, could he? He couldn't handle her. Something quite sexy about that, isn't there? The fact that Ed Sheeran couldn't handle her. Subbed, yeah. God. I'm not really bothered about people coming, how many people come in tonight, to be honest. I'm just having a rant, innit? Yeah, I'm going to have a rant about the old bill and all, and I? Yeah, I forgot about that. So fucking my dog, the girl one, I have to fucking take her for long walks twice a day. Now she's coming off pregnancy. I need to build her muscles up, innit? So I've been around the pub earlier, innit, for a few beers, but I didn't really fancy drinking, innit? I just wanted to have a spliff, so I come home, didn't I? Got some Cali tonight. Fucking stinks, innit? So I rolled a spliff, didn't I? I walked down the fucking road. I never really smoke it on the street. I wait till I get somewhere, innit? I fucking thought, do you know what? I was a little bit pissed when I thought I'd spark it up, innit? Sparked it up, didn't I? I was about fucking halfway through it, walking down in the town, and a fucking police car come driving around the corner. And instantly, without even thinking about a joint, I see the police car. I was like, oh, fucking cunts, you know. So they must have seen me wording, lipping, or the fucking cunts, innit? And it's boiling hot, innit? They drove past and over the fucking window open. All you can smell is the weed, innit? They fucked off up the road there. I turned and I see them reversing, but I had headphones on, innit? So I flicked the fucking joint into this fucking gated fucking MOT station and carried on walking. And they come into Quick Fit car park, didn't they? And they were waving at me because I had my headphones on. And they questioned me, didn't they? And they were like, what was you just smoking? I was like, nothing. And he was like, what did you just flick in there? I was like, nothing, a fag. And he went, why can I smell weed? I went, you're in Strood, mate. You can smell weed everywhere around here. I went, why are you wasting my time? What are you going to do anyway? What are you going to do if it was a fucking split? You ain't going to do anything, are you? You're just wasting your time. And then one of them went, Daniel, why'd you always give us abuse? And I looked here and I fucking recognised him straight away. And he's one of the ones that fucked me up, innit? And the rage and the anger started building, didn't it? So I started giving him abuse, didn't I? And I said to him in the end, go and get it. Go and get it and see if it's a split. And I couldn't because I flicked it in the fucking locked MOT place. And they had to let me go, innit? But I'll just give him shit. Just give him a load of grief. But to be fair, yeah, that weed did fucking stink, mate. It fucking stunk. Well, I knew they were going to smell it because it was like fucking 25 degrees and they had their windows open, didn't they? Riding around with their arms out the window like they're the gangsters, isn't it? Riding around looking for people they recognised to fucking search them. And they couldn't find fuck all, innit? I wouldn't let them search me anyway. I'd rather have a fucking fight with them, you know? But I'm my little dog, innit? And they would probably recognise my dog from when they come here. My little dog attacked them and they fucking told me that if I don't put it in the cage, they're going to have it put down. I was like, well, take the handcuffs off and I will. And they did, the little faggots. Big up, John Boy. That's my moan about the old Bill. Yeah, they're annoying though, aren't they? You're just trying to get on with your business, walking down the street with the dog and they're there, aren't they? Fucking driving around on a Friday, looking for people because they can't really arrest anyone around here. Everyone around here walks. Listen, I can walk from here. Look, I walked down, I've done that video with my dogs this morning. I can walk from here to it's about 4 miles that walk. I can walk around that whole walk and smell at least 4 or 5 different strains of weed, yeah? So everyone's fucking smoking it. And the annoying thing is, yeah, I walk down the high street and you've got a load of winos laying on the benches, like on the benches that are there for the nice people, the ones they put here for the Olympics. We didn't even have the Olympics here. We had like a little training centre about 7 miles away. And they done the town up, didn't they? Now all the winos are down there, fucking asleep on a thing in the day, and they're fucking pulling me about a fucking smell of a joint. Go and get rid of them, innit? Don't get rid of the people that are messing the town up. They're leaving cans of fucking super kestrel everywhere. They get drunk and they start fighting amongst themselves. I have a thought about doing fucking bum fights. Remember that from years ago? One of the first things that come on YouTube was bum fights. Some geezer was paying like tramps, weren't they, to beat the fuck out of each other and then get tattoos on their heads and that. I might start bum fight Strood, you know. I won't they'd fight and all because they're not like junkies, you know. They'll fight for like, you know, you might have to give a junkie like 10, 20 quid's worth of gear, innit? But with these, yeah, fuck me, a couple of cans of super tenants or even a very, very low value Volkanov vodka or something like that, a couple of bottles of them, fucking hell. The standard would be probably better than fucking no comment on that one. Do it, Dan. What, Salford? Shit, I could call it Salford Tramp. I could come up your way and call it Salford Tramp, couldn't I? We could do it together. We could travel the country. So I should imagine there's a few in Salford, and I want there. Bum Fight Talks UK. That'll be good, isn't it? We'll start off in Manchester. Salford Tramps. But I'm a new subscriber. I'll have a listen for a bit. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mickey Mouse. I hope you like what you're listening to because I'm moaning. You're probably better off going and look at one of my interviews where I interview proper people, not just me moaning. But thanks for subbing, bud. Plastic Paddy. Things are very hard and slow. I'm thinking of getting myself. Well, it's not what I was told in legal issues. Hell. Oh, okay. You're messaging me Plastic Paddy. Dave Courtney used to do Tramp Olympics. Oh, I must have missed that one. What was it in the back garden, innit? And afterwards, did one of the tramps fucking go, I'm the governor of the tramps. I'm the king of the tramps. Oh, fucking, I'm the governor. And he holds up a fucking can of super tenants. Super tramps. Yeah, that was quite cruel. That bloke got done for that, didn't he? But he made a load of money off YouTube, didn't he? Yeah, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm looking forward to picking my son up tomorrow, innit? Normal life. Oh, do you know how many times my dogs chase cats? We can never get them, but they still think they've got a chance. Right, come on. Right. Right, okay, yeah, there was one called Field Rage, which was what Andy Joins Toplift run that. Come on, right. Andy Joins Toplift run that. Yeah, he later went on to do B-Bad, and I believe he'd done a Field Rage run again after he sold B-Bad, you know. Yeah, there it is. Got a drink. Okay, fair enough. There's any other Ray Liotta film suggestions apart from growing up with a local tramp? Yeah, we used to have two. Right? I know I can say this without offending anyone, but one of them, they used to call him the Gollywog Man, and he did look like that doll from the thing, and he used to follow, you know, he used to follow people about, right? And it's a bit shady, wasn't it? And then we had another one called the Man in Brown, yeah, and he was an alcoholic, but he was fucking weird, mate. If he was about now, yeah, he'd definitely be like, that geezer needs an acro. You wouldn't let him anywhere. You wouldn't even let him in your shop. You'd be like, mate, you got to have an acro. Be like, why? Like, you know, you look the part, innit? And you follow kids quite a lot. You sort of hang around the schools. And it was weird, wasn't it? Even then, when we was at school, they used to tell us, don't speak to strangers. And they used to show us videos of a man with a rabbit trying to get a girl in a car. But we never knew why. No one ever said to us why we couldn't speak to him. You just couldn't. But now, fucking hell. All right, sweet, Paddy. But now, like, you know, the kids know everything, innit? They see it on them games, don't they? Grand Theft Auto. My son come here, didn't he? He tried to fuck me over. He tried to really fuck me over. He went, yeah, Dad, I got 50 quid. And I was like, yeah. He went, can I get Grand Theft Auto on my fucking Xbox? And I was like, Grand Theft Auto, that's the game with where they shoot people and that. And he's like, yeah. I went, I don't think your mum would let me. And he went, oh, she won't mind. And I went, all right, I'll ring her then. So I rang her, didn't I? And she went, he's asked for Grand Theft Auto, and she fucking started flipping, didn't she? I've been telling him for 2 weeks he can't have it because it's got prostitutes in it. Then he went, what's a prostitute? And then the other day we was driving along and 50 Cent Pimp was playing, and he went, Dad, what's a pimp? I went, do you remember that prostitute thing? And he went, yeah. I went, they look after them. You know that game you've got, that Grand Theft Auto you want, you're having it when you're 18, yeah? You'll understand it a bit more then, won't you? Hopefully. But they know everything nowadays, don't they? The other week, fucking driving down the road, someone fucking pulled right out in front of me, right to emergency stop, and I just randomly went, "You fucking, you cockry," and he laughed, didn't he? And I went, "What are you laughing at?" He went, "That word." I went, "Which one? The first one or the second one?" He went, "The first one." I was like, "What, cock?" And he's like, "Yeah." I went, "How do you know that word?" He went, "My mate says it all the time." And I was like, "What? He just, that's the only word he says." He went, "Yeah, he just runs around going cock, 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 cock." And I was like, "Fucking hell, mate. What are they teaching these kids at fucking school?" Yeah, I will tell him what a pimp is, though, because it's quite a good profession, isn't it? I mean, imagine if I explained to him what it was, and he went, "That sounds like a pretty good job, Dad. How do I get involved with that?" I was like, "Well, if you go down Dover, yeah, right, and there's rubber dinghies, yeah. When you see one come in with a woman on it, yeah, go up to her and say, 'Do you want a job?' Innit? And only if she's pretty, innit? If she ain't all that, then get her along, yeah. But she can do other stuff, innit? Like, we'll find something for her to do. But go and get the pretty ones, innit? And then tell them you've got a fucking job for 150 quid a day in a warehouse. It's safe, you get fucking tax and all that and holiday pay. And then they turn up, don't they? And they take them into a little fucking single room in a little dingy house in the middle of fucking Bradford or somewhere, don't they? Then they start going, "Yeah, um, you got to," they start injecting them with heroin, don't they? They're just like, "Look, let's get them fucked, don't it? Let's fuck their lives up." We've already told them they're going to earn 150 quid a day, and they can clearly see they're not going to. So they're already used to this. It's going to be a bit shit, isn't it? So they're like, "Let's just get them fucking hooked on heroin, isn't it? It's easy, isn't it? Just keep jacking them up, innit? Jacking, jack and fuck." And that's what they get them to do, innit? And you get these blokes, don't you, right? I've never personally been with a prostitute, and I never would. But you get these blokes here that they go there, they get randy, right? And they go to these places. I've seen it. My mate's ex lives on a fucking red light district. And when we've been down there at night, yeah, you just watch all the fucking blokes coming around 2, 3 in the morning. It's quite disgusting. And these women have got no fucking facilities of cleaning themselves, have they? They can't fucking wash their vag, can they? There's no thing in it. And they got them off the streets, didn't they, down here? They was like, "Yeah, we'll fuck every bloke up." So they used to sit there, didn't they, and pulling the blokes over, and they'd name them and shame them. So if you got caught in that area more than twice in a night, they'd pull you over, and you'd be in the paper for curb crawling. Fuck me, I'll tell you what, it stopped them prostitutes quicker than it was the police keep nicking them, because the police used to pick them up. They couldn't deal with them. They couldn't stop them going on the streets, innit? So they went and fucked up their customer base. Pretty smart. And they went to them, "All right, Gerard." And they went to him, "Yeah, look, we'll put you all in houses and that." So they started making it legal, yeah. So you can now legally own a brothel in Medway. Not as easy as you think, though, right? You've got to have a fucking license, haven't you? So they got all these girls off the streets, yeah. Then they realised, right, but making these brothels up, they're only allowed so many. The fucking license was costing too much money, innit? So the girls just all started getting fucked off, didn't they? And they didn't really like having the facilities to clean themselves and that. They rather go straight from the car into the crack den, get the crack, and then go back out and jump in another car. They weren't really interested in the hot water supply. They didn't really give a fuck, to be honest. They just wanted fucking come and fucking, crack, come and crack, and as quick as possible. High turnover, innit? I used to drive fucking an ex I was with. She used to have a cousin that didn't have any work, and he worked for a fucking escort company, didn't he? And he said, "Oh, I'll get you a job," innit? And I was driving like fucking some nights there'll be 3 of them in the car, like, and this was before you could get done for fucking drugs, innit? And these fucking prostitutes, they come from Essex, so I'd go and pick them up. And then they'd fucking be sniffing gear, innit? And one of the girls would be like, "Yeah, do you want a bit?" Mate, she'd give it to me, mate. I've never fucking had anything like it. I'll tell you what, them fucking prostitutes, mate, they can get some good old fucking gear. I was fucked, mate. I was driving around fucking Essex, like fucking, like thinking I was Pat Tate. Do you know what I mean? With 3 girls in the car and that. Although I weren't really in a Range Rover, I was in like a fucking shitty old car, to be honest. But I still felt like good. And they used to have a trick, innit? You know what they hated more than anything? You know what prostitutes hate more than anything? Blokes that are on cocaine. Because if a bloke used to ring up, yeah, who's just, say a bloke would ring up and he's in town, yeah, for business, they would go to the hotel, yeah, they'd be in and out within 10, 15 minutes, yeah, because he's just wanting relief, innit? But they go to these cokeheads, innit? Then they'd be fucking, because they've been on the old gear, they'll be in there an hour. Then they'd come out and be like, yeah, they want another hour. Sometimes you'd be sitting there for 3 hours, innit? And the girls would get back in the car and I'd be like, did they bolt their load? And they'd be like, nah. And we didn't want to stay another hour. Our fucking hands were getting tired or so. Fucking hard work, mate, innit? It was like fucking 100 quid an hour, 50 quid for the fucking girls, but 25 quid for me and 25 quid for the boss bloke, innit? He didn't have to do nothing, did he? He just sat at home, didn't he? Sat at home pimping out girls. He didn't even answer the phone. But you know what? They were quite nice. They were quite nice women, you know. You just get used to it, and it's like a job, innit? And then we had about a week when no one rang up and we sat in fucking Essex for fucking, I think it was at Lakeside or somewhere for like hours, and them three were getting irritated and they were sniffing, weren't they? And it was just hard work, and I had to drop them all off with no money, innit? You can imagine. Yeah, it's a nightmare. And they'd end up fucking getting money from a job and they'd be like, oh, we'll give you a tenner if you drive us to fucking so and so. And I'll be like, for fuck's sake. But if there weren't nothing, it was all right, innit? And you had the blokes who'd ring them up and go, yeah, can you get me any stuff? And I'll be like, oh, not again. But you couldn't really be driving around here, fucking London, Essex, Kent, could you? With like 3 whores in the car and a load of fucking gear. It was fucking bait. Really bait. And the explanation was, if you get pulled over, what are you doing? Driving escorts around, because apparently it's a lot classier than saying I'm driving whores around. Like, you was kind of their security, but it weren't. It's just a Joey, innit, driving them around, innit? They was Joeys and all, innit? At least I didn't have to fucking, I didn't have to do anything, innit? I had to do all sorts. But then past fucking one, it'd go up to, the money would go up, and they wouldn't get any extra, innit? But I would. And I don't mean fucking, I mean money. I mean money, yeah? Money extra. And it was weird. I just get people ringing me up that I know. They'll be like, can you get me a whore? And I'm like, no, we're fucking miles away. And they'll be like, oh, I can wait, innit? We're like, it's 200 quid then. And they're like, 200 quid? Blah, blah, blah. But the girls are good. To them, it's like no different to it as any other woman. Like Starshine, who works in the NHS and that, right? I'm not comparing prostitution to the NHS by any means. In fact, the money's a lot better at prostitution and the hours are better. And you get a bit of respect, innit? The NHS obviously get respect. We was applauding them, weren't we, every Thursday for about fucking, I don't know how long. But yeah, it was all right. Where's that Paddy? He's going to come in, innit? Getting a bit bored of talking, innit? I'm getting a bit bored of hearing my own voice. Is anyone watching the football tomorrow? Northern King, are you an Everton fan, aren't you? Am I right, Everton? Could be wrong on that one. There's a lot of negativity about it at the moment, isn't it? A very lot of negativity. Can't really remember when that fucking clapping for the nurses stopped. Because all the nurses around here who live around here, well, like, I'm fucking fed up with this now. It's taking a piss, isn't it? Give us some money. Give us extra money. You know, we was all out clapping. What all them nurses were thinking was, you fucking clowns. Just give us some more fucking money, innit? Like, claps don't pay their fucking electric bill, does it? Or their fucking gas bill. Clapping ain't gonna fucking keep the council from, oh, that reminds you, I ain't pay my council tax. Clapping ain't gonna keep them cunts, the council, off your back, is it? Look well at all. Pablo. I've got a photo of Pablo Escobar in my living room. He looks quite good, you know. Or are you talking about another Pablo? Who's Pablo? Pablo Paul. I've just got out of the bath. Oh no, he's always pissed up, that hang tights, isn't it? He was messaging me last night. He'll have some weird rave music on as well. Hopefully it's the same fellow I speak to on fucking Insta. You never know, innit? You never know. It's quite confusing, you know, because you see people on here and then they message you on Instagram and you don't really know who they are and you pretend like, yeah. And you have to try and work it out. And it's hard, isn't it? Because most people ain't even got their real name, have they? Include myself. I spoke about this. Respect everyone like Starshine, don't they? They're all Scottish. I've noticed all the girls that come on the late chats are Scottish girls, aren't they? Don't know why that is. And you're not off the speed. What? Half a bar. Dan, you're not up to speed. On what? I ain't up to speed on nothing, innit? Um, what am I not up to speed? Alright, that hang tights for fuck's sake. Half a bar. Half a bar, Steve. You're not up to speed. Yeah, Pablo's fighting Charles. Is he back on YouTube? Somebody said he was, but I ain't actually seen any, innit? Fighting Charles needs to get healthy. I hope he doesn't fight. Actually, I didn't hear he was back on YouTube. Somebody told me he was fighting the Joe Kidd again on at 3D Fight Club. I don't really know about that though. Oh, I could have asked Dougie today, innit? But he was drinking champagne and that of his missus, wasn't he, in some place, innit? Some like spa or something. And I saw that this afternoon, and I messaged him. I went, "You're gonna have to lose that dressing gown for half hour tonight." And I didn't hear from him for hours. And then he messaged in and went, "I'm not going to be able to make it tonight, Danny. We'll have to reschedule." And I was like, I knew that was coming. And I thought, should I just fuck it off, innit? And I put it on YouTube. Then Wendy said, "Yeah, I'll come on." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Big up to Dougie. Hope he's having a good time, innit? They look like they're having a nice time, innit? They look like having a better time probably than most of us, innit? Do you know Briston? Bliston? Humble Dry. Dougie treating his bride with all the fighters' money. Yeah, probably. It looked like he was. It looked quite lush there, mate. You might be right there, bud. Remember, got shot in that triangle. Yeah, I don't really know. Do you know, like some of you, do you know you speak funny and I can't understand you from I'm down south. A little bit the same with some of your writing, like hang tight. Hang tight is it. I understand your voice more than I do your writing, and that's bad because I have to listen to your messages about 4 times. But I get it in the end. You should send it with translations. He did a live earlier, but he's clearly not in a good place. Lost a lot of weight. Someone has just bombed his live. What does that mean? Bombed what? Porn bombed it, or that's the only thing I've heard about bombing, porn bombing. You're on the best channels. Yeah, Hangs is pretty cool, isn't it? I think he's baked most of the time, though. I think he's fucked most of the time, innit? And I like that. You got to respect him for that, haven't you? You got to respect old Hang Tights. He's a member and all, look, isn't he? And I'm dissing him. I'm not dissing him. I'm proud of him. I like it when he texts me off his tits. He's quite funny, isn't he? I used to go to the Black Country Market. Did you see Dougie getting called out again? Look at my last is a former BKB champ. Do you know what his name is, brother? We'll go and have a look at I've Dougie and Dean. I've got to say, I reckon Dean's been called out more, isn't it? It's good now, yeah. They don't leave the comments anymore asking because they know, innit? I'll just say go on Insta and tell them, innit? If you want to fight Dean or Dougie, go and message them on Instagram. And some people message me back and go, I've messaged them, but they ain't answered. And I'm like, oh, it might be in that box in the corner. You know, the one where someone ain't your friend and there's a little blue thing in the corner. Either that or they just don't really give a fuck, do they? I mean, if you're just about to fight Douglas fucking Doherty and like Dean's going to go fucking Decker, not really going to give two fucks, are you, about someone on YouTube, really? Let's be honest. His name is Jim Mack. I know that name from somebody. Jim Mack. So what's his thing is, they know they've all got fights coming up. You know, like people call Dean out. When they call like Dougie out. And they call Decker out, and it Brett May called Decker out as well. They've all got fights coming up. You can't really call people out when they've got a fucking up and coming fight. Do you know what I mean? Not really how it's done, is it? But this YouTube's changed the rules, isn't it? Oh, this has changed the rules for everything. I see Astring earlier. He went on old fucking Film Boys one and basically insinuated that fucking Harlan had fucking basically, you know, the R word. I don't really want to say it. He tried to insinuate in it, then fighting Irish Colin, didn't he? And he tore into him. Do you know what though? See that woman, yeah? She's probably been fucking. Imagine living her life, innit? Imagine living with that. She probably fucking. She's probably had to say it just to stop him going on. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't really say stuff like that, can you? Well, Dale Brendan Hyde, one of the fellas who used to be part of B-Bad, still a friend of mine, and he's a writer. Him and Yami the other week were in that court, wasn't it? Because Dale got wrongly fucking done, didn't he? Because the bird didn't want to tell her boyfriend that she'd fucking fucked someone else, so she said she got raped, isn't it? Just to worm her way out of it with the fucking boyfriend, which is fucking scumming it. And it come out, didn't it? Not sure how it come out. All right, Paddy, I'm going to put the link up now, right? So it's a bit scummy, isn't it? It's a bit scummy what Astring done tonight. He's trying to get back in, isn't he? By accusing Harlem of rape. Yeah, it's a bit fucked up. Couldn't even fucking let him on, innit? Should give him the time of day, mate. Yeah, it does. See, tumble dry too. Yeah, I do and all, mate. I do. Probably forced, innit? I ain't had no choice. Imagine if you're going on and on at her all week, innit? Yeah, yeah, what happened? What happened? You know what, as well? Fuck me, if she did fucking shag Harley, you can't fucking blame her, can you? Look what she has to put up with every day. Fucking joke, isn't it? Yeah, he don't really listen to anyone though, does he? I ain't joking, no. True, innit? I saw it. Quickly fucking went on there. I saw it, then I fucking and they kicked him off or he left, didn't he? The fighting Irish come on, didn't he? That weren't happy. That's another new low on YouTube, isn't it? Why ain't they gone to the police, innit? Why the fuck? Why the fuck has he gone on YouTube to say it, innit? And not gone to the police? You're wrong, innit? No, fighting Charles Channel's not fading away, innit? You can have a break from YouTube, can't you? If you got other stuff going on. I think he'll be back, mate. I hope he is, anyway. People forget how much fucking work people put in to build these YouTube channels, isn't it? And like some people, when they get loads and loads of subs and that, it does go to their head a little bit. Like this fella, Hush Drink. You know, he fucking won that fight, didn't he? He was the people's champion. Well, for about a day. And he's fucking, and then he wanted to fight Dougie Joyce, didn't he? He let it go to his head. That is letting things go to your head, isn't it? It's like me, innit? Fucking fighting Harlan. He's quite little and battering him and calling Fury out, innit? Just going straight for Fury, not fucking around. I'm just going to go straight for the top. His charger was going. Yeah, these youngsters, they're not very good with chargers, are they? I'm not very good myself, to be honest, but I hope for predictions for Decker and Brett. I can't predict that. That ain't going to happen, I don't think, mate. But, fucking hell. See, these questions, innit? Because if you say one thing, it's I know them both, innit? I've seen Brett from early on. I think it'd be a fucking hard night for Brett. I'm telling you that. But fair play to him for going for it. I hope that answers your question, Norman or Wisdom. Tough fight. But Brett's on BKFC, isn't he? So we'll see, innit? Good luck to him, innit? Be a tough fight for him. I think he's a little bit smaller. Well, I don't know actually. Fucking, he said on his interview that he's quite big, so it should be Man City v Liverpool. All right. Fucking hell, someone had to lower the tone, didn't they? Remind me about that. I'm gonna be bitter, innit? Fucking just fucking support Real Madrid, innit? Be like, well, they beat us, so I support them really. I know there's going to be loads of people out tomorrow. I've got a load of fucking mates. Big Scott, he's going to Blackpool. Him and all his mates are going to Blackpool. They're all like fucking that Scotty's about 6'9", and all his mates are the same size. And believe it or not, people have still tried to have fucking fights with him. I would not fuck around with them. No way.
I agree with Don't Ask Me. Fuck Madrid. Fuck them. Should be Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah, it should be, but Real Madrid, they were good, weren't they? Considering they only had fucking, everyone kept going, they've only got Benzema. And I was like, yeah, but that don't matter, does it? They've got that experience, haven't they?
Oh, shit.
Hey, I caught some of your interview. Was you ever at Dave Courtney's when Sean... Yes, I was, mate. Yeah, I was there. I was at that one, actually.
Dan, thanks for getting in touch with Dean for me so I could get the hook up on that.
Yeah, well, it was good. Yeah, that fucking Dougie didn't turn up for mine, though, did he? So, yeah, I'm glad it worked out, mate. No worries. It was a good interview. I caught it at the end, but anytime you have Dean Lynch-Ward on a live, the comments get a bit dodgy, don't they?
They do get a bit dodgy.
Yeah, like when you're looking through them, you're like, shall I highlight it? And sometimes I don't look properly, you're half listening, and you can highlight one sometimes. It might be a little bit offensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really whenever I do interviews, I don't highlight nothing. I if there's the same question over and over and over again, then I'll ask it. But usually I just kind of ask my own questions and go from there.
Yeah, that's the same as me. I don't really write it down, innit? But when you keep your eye on things, you don't need to, do you?
Yeah. Like Houston Alexander, whenever Houston gets a lot of respect from everybody. So for Houston's interview, his are probably they're pretty easy going, really. Obviously Dean's got a lot of hate. So will Decca. If I ever do interview Decca, it'll probably be the same way.
You know what though? Because the views his video gets, I know when I put a video up of him, especially his training ones, I know they're going to get shit. Yeah, so I got to a point where even the good messages, I just can't look. There's so many, man. And it just
you just stop looking.
No, well, for the views he gets though, the percentage of badness he gets, it ain't actually that fucking bad, mate. To be honest.
Yeah. But I thought the interview went pretty good. So I've been working my ass off lately. I haven't been doing a whole lot of YouTube in the last 2 weeks because our work went up. So I've been kind of just hanging out in the background. But July 29th, I go to a boxing event. It's Roy Jones Jr. is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
I'll be reffing. I may be a ref. They're still they're short on refs. I'm licensed in Texas. I think the thing is, I'm licensed in Texas to ref here for boxing and MMA events. But over there, they just got a commission. But I think they're going to allow me to ref at that boxing event over there.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one, a guy got a heart attack and died.
Oh.
Get this. The guy drank 5 Monsters before he boxed. Right. I was like, did anybody give that guy, did anybody tell that guy not to drink 5 Monsters? And he got a heart attack and died.
Well, a lot of wrestlers, Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking overdone it on them. One WrestleMania, man, it fucked him. Completely into a shock because there's fucking so much sugar in it, isn't there?
Yeah, to a sugar and the caffeine overload, especially if you're boxing, the last thing you want to do is even drink a Monster. You're gonna crash.
Yeah. That's what annoys me about the UFC. They have the empty cans at the end.
Yeah,
they got those good for you at all, is it?
Yeah. Remember Quentin Rampage Jackson? He remember he got into that high-speed chase where he drank 3 Monsters and freaked out. Remember that?
They forgot to test him for meth, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're fucked up, mate.
Yeah, so I might be reffing in that fight, but either or, I'll get to meet Roy Jones Jr., which I'm...
Are you going to interview him?
Nah, well, we're going to try, but I don't want to, you know how to, I don't want to get on... Everybody probably wants to interview him, so I don't want to get on his nerves or anything. I'll mention it, and if he doesn't say anything, then I'll just leave it be.
You know what the best tactic is, and it's worked for me for many, many years, right? Get your fucking phone ready, get in their face and go, can I do an interview? Like, and it works. Tony Gooch, he come out of 3D Fight Club. He'd obviously had a few beers here. He looked fucked. And I seen him, and I was like, right, I'm going to get him. He's like a traveller. He used to be an MMA fighter. Quite a nice fella, actually. But poor it, I felt bad because he got a load of fucking abuse because of that. He's like, look, he's fucked off his head. And I was like, yeah, I did kind of get him after a night out. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to be looking fucking all prim and proper, is he?
The good news is that so there's a guy on Roy Jones's Jr.'s little thing. So I'll probably be hanging out with them for the night. So maybe
is that his show? Is that Roy's own? Is that a professional show? Is it or?
Yeah. So it'll be a pro boxing event. It's gonna have amateur fights in it. So right here, let me show you guys. Basically, yeah, Roy Jones Jr. is coming down there. Kind of just to give more eyes to the event. Here it is. I got it. So there it is right there.
Oh yeah, nice.
July 23rd, not the 29th.
Oh,
and that'll be in Rapid City.
So like that's his own promotion now. Yeah, he's doing his own.
Yeah. And that's at my boxing coach's gym. It's gonna be held at my Stony. It'll be held at his gym. So maybe we could pull an interview since it's at his gym.
Where is that? Near you or?
No, so this would be. So I'm down south in the U.S. It'll be like in the middle of the United States. It'll be in South Dakota is the state. So for me, I'll have to fly down there. It's gonna be like a 2-hour flight, but so I'll be there for that whole weekend for that whole event, and it should be pretty fun.
Dean, not worth talking about. All he tells is Liz. He said his family to the wards in Chewham. I was talking to them and they don't know him. I don't know what is going on. Well, that's not really a question for me or Paddy, isn't it? I've asked him about that, but
yeah, like for Dean, I don't know a lot. Like the good thing about my channel is I don't know a whole lot about the beef or anything like that. So it was it's a good setting for even if Deca wanted to come on, which he hasn't, given. But if both of them wanted to come on, it'd be a good neutral ground for both of them to come on and have their say so.
Yeah, you wouldn't get fucked over for it, would you, with Deca?
Yeah, because I'm neither here nor there.
No, and he's still on YouTube, and he's still around. To be honest, I see him post a video the other day, and within 10 minutes, I had 10 different people or so messaging me, highlighting the fact that he had like white powder around his nose, innit? And people were quite proud that they messaged it to me, and I'm just looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, he's a cokehead. Why are you sending me that? I already knew that. It's not new information.
Hey, people. Hey, I say, do your bags, man. Live your life.
Yeah, isn't it? But his trainer, he keeps saying, Deca, you need to start eating the bag harder, and Deca gets a bit confused, doesn't he?
That's what I'm a little. Now that I'm hearing that, might be a good fight for Dean then. If Deca's, Dean looks quick. He looks swift. That left hook, he's laying it in there. It's pretty fast. Dean, for as much experience as Deca has, Dean, for being out that long and then coming back in and training, he looks very good.
If both are fully fit, Dean Deca could be a bloodbath, or even worse for Dean, a regular.
I don't know, man. It's hard to judge fights.
The comments are quite funny, aren't they? But other times it's just like we've heard it a million times, isn't it?
I mean, the hardest part is that I haven't seen Dean in a ring or anything. Maybe there is. Is there some video footage out there of Dean fighting?
Yeah, there's a bit. If you go on YouTube, there's a couple. I think one of the fights we lost, but it was a good fight.
Yeah,
yes, this is the American.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is you don't get to with Deco you got a lot of footage, but with Dean you don't, which works to Dean's advantage though too. Deca doesn't have a whole lot of a whole lot of stuff to go off of.
Yes, this is definitely the American who done the Dean interview earlier, SKR. BC couldn't KO Decker, so no chance Dean will. Okay. Oh, that's Starshine. She brings a bit of sunshine. She should be called Sunshine, not Starshine. I definitely think Dean will have a good advantage because of his skill in his movement.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see. Well, hold on. Let me grab my cigarettes real quick.
One of them funny ones, isn't it? He's going to do a Rodney Trotter in here and get one of them Jamaican ones. Rodney Trotter with his funny fags. Remember, Del Boy made him feel bad, didn't he? Rodney felt bad. Like, and then, now fucking I walk around the streets, innit? And the old Bill's stopping people, innit? Because they can smell it. I'm going to count, the next time I take the dogs out in the morning, I'm going to count the different smell of strains. And everyone could smell it round here a little while ago. Really strong smell, yeah. And a fucking house got fucking done, didn't it? Down by the pub.
I mean, with Dean, we'll see what his sparring footage looks like though too. If he's sparring good, if he's willing to send footage in, then he must be doing good in camp.
Yeah. For me, the question is, does the fight happen? I ain't really watched any Decker. The only one I see with Decker was he sent a video. I don't really know this guy, but he sent a video out to some guy Apollo. He come in the chat the other night. A couple of people told me about him. So that's the last video I've seen of him. Decker has his fused to his shoulders. No one is knocking the bacon out.
That is true. His head is pretty much fused to his fucking shoulders.
Decker will be on coke. The thing is, right, one of my boxing shows, right, someone come up to me and went, I'm not going to name him, but one of the fighters was in the toilet doing cocaine a couple of, literally half hour before he had the fight. And they went, are you going to drug test him? And I went, no. So they went, why? I went, because I ain't got a drug testing kit. And they went, well, what are you going to do then? I went, what do you want me to do, innit?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I meant to do? I've got your word against it. And someone else come up and went, hey, you know that fella? I was like, fuck's sake.
Even if somebody did do coke, it wouldn't be an advantage. If anything, it would be a disadvantage.
It'd be a disadvantage, totally.
Believe me, I've done quite a few bags, and there ain't no fucking way you'd see me in a ring on some bags or get a fucking heart attack.
I've done it at work before over the years, and fucking hell, mate, when you do a physical job, it ain't good.
Yeah, it isn't good at all. Your heart starts thumper-umping. You start worrying. Yeah. You crash.
More likely to die, aren't you, doing drugs at work? Yeah, rest in peace, Ray Liotta. Let me ask Paddy about that. Goodfellas, what a film that is. Still is.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goodfellas is, that's the, Ray Liotta died?
Yeah, he died yesterday.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, that's what I did this live quickly for, yeah. He was 67, I believe. Died in his sleep in Honolulu or somewhere.
Well, at least he died in his sleep in Honolulu. Like, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think that might have been a prostitute that he was with, though. Her name was Honolulu.
Hey, hopefully that'd be the perfect way to go. That's crazy. I didn't know that he died.
Yeah, well, it was on fucking. I was just watching Sky News yesterday, and it come up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But obviously, you always think that, though, don't you? But like we were saying earlier, there was a fella in here. He's like same age as me, and we all started watching that film about 12 years old when it come out, mate. Like people my age and older. I think even younger people will know it. But Netflix hasn't got fucking one Ray Liotta film on it, which I think is a disgrace, isn't it?
Yeah, he did Goodfellas, Saints of New York. He did a lot of movies, a lot of mob movies.
What's the Saints of New York? Is that a mob movie?
So that one's the Sopranos. That's when Tony Soprano grew up. Basically, it's the story of whenever Tony like
Oh,
kind of rose into power.
Yeah, I've seen that. Where Tony Soprano's actual son plays in it, doesn't he? James Gandolfini's son. Is that what you?
Yeah, and Ray did Killing Them Softly. He did Blow. Um, did a lot of mob movies.
Oh, he's in Blow, is he? Oh, fucking hell. Well, I'm wrong then. Blow's on Netflix, so.
Yeah, he did Blow. Killing Them Softly was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on there.
Oh, maybe.
Was he on Casino? I think so.
No, he wasn't in that.
No.
Joe Pesci was.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. Yep.
And De Niro. Who would have thought Robert De Niro would outlive fucking Ray Liotta? That's crazy, isn't it?
Robert De Niro, though, he kind of lost his mafia status over here. Like, I don't think he'll ever be on another mafia movie again.
Well, there was a point, right, in the 90s, you know, like when the big fights would happen, like Tyson and that, yeah?
Yeah.
You would see Jack Nicholson and Robert De Niro, right? You would see them. They were as fucking they walked the same like the fighters, didn't they? You'd always see them at the fucking fights.
And Jack Nicholson was always at every LA Lakers basketball game too. At home.
Some good films. A lot of people like the old one. What's that one? Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or
yeah, Fell Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah, that when they were in that mental health ward.
Like after Goodfellas, Casino was good, isn't it? But did you see The Irishman? You ain't seen The Irishman, no. Did you watch the TV show The Sopranos?
Yeah.
What about Breaking Bad?
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
What was more disappointing, do you think? The sequel film to Breaking Bad or the Saints of New York?
I would say Bad. I would say. Are you talking about the Saul sequel kind of?
No, the film. They bought a film out and had Jesse in it, like last year on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, I would say that one was the worst. Saints of New York was pretty bad though too.
You reckon they're going to do another one of that? You can't really replace Tony Soprano, though, can you? I mean, his son done brilliant. His son does look a little bit like him, to be fair.
Yeah, Tony Soprano was. You know that Sopranos was supposed to be a comedy, and then they made it serious.
Somebody told me yesterday Ray Liotta was the actual first one that they thought of for the role.
Yeah, and then they picked Tony. They picked what's his name, and he ended up dying. I thought the ending though on The Sopranos was perfect. The ending on Breaking Bad was perfect though too.
Well, the Breaking Bad one over here, people weren't really happy with, and the Sopranos one, my mum and dad watched it. My dad always said that you never know whether he was fucking whacked or not, do you? Because he's in a restaurant at the end, wasn't he?
Because it just goes black.
Yeah, so it's left to your imagination, but a bloke walks in, doesn't he?
You want to know what was the hardcore film before that? Was Oz. It was a prison series. And that's what brought The Sopranos in. Because The Sopranos was kind of like Oz, where it was going to be like for a mature audience. And Oz, before then, my mom used to watch that shit. It gave me fucking nightmares. I was scared to go to fucking prison after watching that fucking series, because there was like a lot of guy-on-guy rape scenes. There was a lot of shit going on in that film, but in that series. But Oz was like the first series on HBO that really, really like kind of pushed the limit on what audiences could watch.
He played the character Ray Liotta played was Henry Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, fucking a known scumbag in a lot of the stuff. Martin Scorsese, Henry Hill, the actual guy Henry Hill. At the end, he got a bit confused with the stories because he told so many lies that he forgot what he lied about in the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he was on Howard Stern, and some fucking mob boss ran up and said, "I'm gonna fucking, you're getting whacked, mate." and he was pissed up, wasn't he? And he was like, eh. He never got whacked though. He died of fucking natural causes, I believe, or fucking alcohol and drugs, isn't it?
Yeah. And Big Ups brought up a good prison movie. Shot Caller is fucking bad. It's if any movie brings out the whole California prison scene the best, Shot Caller is the best at doing that.
I've never heard of that film, to be honest.
It's fucking crazy. Shot Caller and Felon. Felon is another one. That's what the California prison scene is like. Like it's wild, but it's the closest that you can get.
After the mid 2000 gangster films, no, because we've got like Craig Fairbrass, who sort of does the Pat Tate thing. Then you see him on other films on Netflix. I don't
Kin
really
is
like
another
it.
good one. Kin was a good one. Kin started out slow.
Is Breaking Bad is one of the best, but for me, probably The Sopranos is the best. But Breaking Bad's probably a close second.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would say my top gangster series would be The Sopranos for sure.
Yeah,
Then
100%.
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
If
Oh,
anyone hasn't actually watched The Sopranos, yeah, fucking hell, you've got them. Yeah. I'd love to have not watched it and be able to watch it all again without knowing what's going to happen.
yeah. Yeah, The Sopranos is a fucking good film because the first season it started out they wanted to make a comedy like mafia movie or mafia series, and then HBO said, well, let's make it serious and comedic at the same time. And there's like on the first season you could see that there's like points where you laugh, like there's comedy points, but then there's points where it gets pretty fucking serious. And then from there, I think they just mixed it all in.
Yeah, because the first scene is him fucked up about these ducks out in his garden, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. In his pool.
He was in some good films and all, wasn't he? James Gandolfini. He was in one called
Oh,
True Romance. That was fucking brilliant, that film.
the best one that I thought that he was in was the prison one, the army prison, where he takes in a guy from a general from the army to his prison, and the general figures out that he's treating fellow jail inmates improperly, so they kind of like I forget what the fucking movie is called,
I know
but
what you mean, though. I've seen him in the army uniform.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't remember what it's called, though.
it's like a military prison, and all of the inmates turn against the guards, and there's like this big battle. Forget what the fuck the movie's called. It's a good movie though.
Yeah, Starshine. I watched a couple of seasons of that. The first two I thought were all right, but I think watching Netflix for so long burns you out for fucking binge watching. Binge watching was brilliant when
Yeah.
Netflix first come out, but it's really
See,
hard to binge watch now, isn't it?
I just got Netflix again this month, so I switch off. I do Netflix, then I'll switch over to HBO Max, and every month I just switch over. I switch to Stars, to Showtime. But this month I did Netflix because Stranger Things, the new season is out.
It's called it is called something like that, Ugly Beast, or Ray Winston's in it, isn't he? And that bald English actor. What's his
That's
fucking
not
name?
sexy. That's sex. Is that Sexy Beast?
Beast. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you guys are. All right,
Ben Kingsley, Ray Winston. Ben Kingsley plays a fucking lunatic in it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
A lot of people like that
crazy.
one. Another good actor, Ray Winston, isn't it? Another good British actor.
I'm trying to look up the one with The Last Castle. That's what it's called. James Gandolfini.
Yeah. What, Love, Honor and Obey? That's fucking good, yeah. But what about Kneel by Mouth? If you ain't seen a Ray Winston film called Kneel by Mouth, that's quite fucking brutal, isn't it? Kathy Burke from Kevin and Perry's in it, mate, and he kicks the fuck out of her. Like, honestly, I've never seen a film where a bloke's so violent to a woman, isn't it? It's quite a good film, though. Freddie Foreman's son's in it. That's on YouTube and all. If you get, that's on YouTube. It's really
nowadays, whenever they do gangster films, it's not the same, man. Snatch is one of the best. Yeah, Snatch is one of the best. But then there's so the robbery that Lee Murray did, they actually did a film kind of based on that. What was it called? It was in the UK. It was a film in the UK back in like, I'm gonna say the early 2000s. Fuck, I
Oh,
can't
I know
remember.
what you mean. It's the repeat of the old film with Jason Statham where they rob a bank. Is that it?
Yeah. Where they
Yeah,
rob a
it's a
bank
repeat.
and
Someone would definitely know that. But yeah, the bank job it's called.
that's what it's called, the bank job. That was the inspiration for that was the Lee Murray, the Brinks heist.
Yes, it was. Um, it's a true story, I believe, and it was pretty similar to what happened at Hatton Gardens as well.
Yeah,
They had
yeah.
someone sitting outside, didn't they? They were proper criminals, weren't they? Them boys who'd done the Hatton, one of them had been with Kenneth Noy when Kenneth Noy killed the policeman in his back garden. And I think one of them come out from that the Hatton Garden job and done another one and is back in. Like some of them are just career criminals, isn't it?
Oh, I got an idea for one, Dan, that brings America. It'll bring them all together. I think you do one like off of this Kinahan shit. You do one based in Ireland, and then you do one in Morocco, based off of, and then you do one in Italy, and then you do one based out of Colombia, and another one based out of the U.S. where they all come together for like all series, but they all come together at the end.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, man. I'm wondering, they're going to do another season of Narcos, definitely with El Chapo.
Yeah.
And then, like, they're going to be searching. They're going to be searching. They did 3 with Colombia, didn't they? They've done 2 now with Mexico. So I'm presuming they're going to do one more that'll take you through El Chapo's career, when he tunneled out and stuff like that. Because they've already got to the tunnels now, haven't they?
Yeah. Yep.
So everyone's hoping that the fucking Narcos fucking season for it. No, what do you call it? You had 1, 2. 1 was Mexico. No, 1 was Colombia. 2 was Mexico. What about 3's fucking Ireland? Wow.
Yeah. Bring them, like, if you brought them all together, that would be a fucking super cartel series.
But I dare say a lot of us ain't going to live to see the fucking by the time they get it. Because it takes a long, long time, doesn't it? I mean, this next one will finish and then, they don't even start the next one, do they? And they've got to write it and everything, isn't it? So,
and Netflix is so backed up. They're so backed up, I've heard.
No, it's no big media streams are doing any like documentaries or anything yet about Kinahan, are they? They're just leaving it to all us little YouTubers, aren't they?
Well, TMZ, they hit me up. They asked me questions about the whole Kinahan shit, and I told them they were interested, but they still haven't done a story.
Everyone's a bit dubious, aren't they? The bigger people. TMZ's quite massive now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think somebody's working on it.
Because what did they do? They just basically used to start off by catching stars outside hotels, didn't they? TMZ, is that right?
Yeah, and they hit me up. They actually they hit me up through YouTube. Then I emailed the guy. Then the guy wanted my number, so he called me, and they were like, "All right, tell us what the story is with this whole thing." So I started from beginning to end. I said, I'll tell you guys like what I could tell you off the top of my head because I'm at work. And I pretty much told them from Christy Kinahan all the way up. And they were like, Jesus. They said, and how long has this been going on? I was like, dude, this has been going on for about 7, almost 10 years. And I was like, it's pretty crazy that you guys haven't caught on to it yet. And they were like, how many boxers? And I was naming out boxers, but I was like, see, the thing is that you don't know, because they were asking about Tyson Fury. They said, is Tyson Fury aware? I said, now he's aware of it, but you don't know if he is aware of it currently. Like, well, you don't know if he was aware of it back then, but he probably was, but you can't really, it's all say so. It's all hearsay.
Well, it come out the other week on. Well, it didn't come out the other week actually. It's quite old now, but someone brought it up again the other week that it wasn't really relevant at the time. But there's an interview that Peter Fury's basically sort of admitted that they've known Kinahan for like 20 odd years, yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter Fury went to prison, didn't he, for selling amphetamines? Obviously,
Yep.
after that time, you know. So
I mean, obviously they're involved in something. They just got busted. What was it, last weekend? They were kicking a fucking cab with they had a major Scottish gangster with them at the time, and so obviously something's going on. But the the thing is, did you see what the EU is trying to do now?
yeah, I've mostly watched what you put out, mate. To be honest, on that situation. And the other guy now, the hostage, art hostage, he does some good stuff.
Yeah, so basically the EU could go after Tyson, everybody that's received money from Kinahan now, and they could go after them, freeze their accounts. They could do whatever the fuck they want. It'd be
surely they've got to prove that the money that they've come, because
they don't even have to prove it. They don't even have to prove it. All they got to do is it's kind of like how Ireland's cab unit works. Like they could take your shit, freeze it, and then you got to prove that you got that money legitimately, or you have to go through the court system to prove that you got that money through legitimate means.
Yeah, he did get taken to court by was it Barry McGuigan?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Barry McGuigan. Yeah, but Barry was doing some fucked up shit too himself to Frampton.
Yeah, he was.
Now I can tell you this: I've had a lot of people hit me up seeking lawsuits, like people whose family members have either died, or I've had a couple of big criminals hit me up asking, "Hey, if I give info, can you give me this lawyer's number?" Blah blah. I said, "Yeah, I'll give you the lawyer's number," and I've given it to him. I don't know what happened in between that, but I could tell you it's some pretty high up dudes. Like I had one dude who's actually named in that sanction list hit me up. So the dominoes are coming down.
Is it 500 names on that list?
No, this was the sanction list.
So there's six. There was 6 people on that list.
There's 6 people. You guys could take
a
a guess.
So there was Daniel Kinahan, Christy Kinahan Jr.
I'm not gonna answer any of them, but
wow, he didn't answer that one, did he? Fucking hell!
It's definitely not one of those 3, but somebody. It's one of the. It's one of the ones at the bottom, but
I'm going to do an investigation after this live and search the other 3. I'm going to eliminate who it is.
But yeah, somebody, they definitely hit me up, and the dominoes are coming down right now. Like it's not good.
Basically, what you're saying is, yeah, the Kinahan members of the Kinahan cartel have actually seen your videos.
Yeah.
You're fucked. Everybody get him off this live now. Paddy, you'll be banned. All your banks will be frozen tomorrow. That's pretty cool, to be fair, mate. Really cool.
The hit on Veronica. So, yeah, the Veronica Guerin one is a tough one. If I was to say whoever killed Veronica, I would say it would be Gilligan for sure.
Okay. So what do you reckon he's doing? Where is he? Still in Dubai?
Yeah, they're still in Dubai, yeah. But they don't. The thing is that they don't have any money. Like there is money. They hid away cash, but they only got the cash that they got. That's it.
Yeah, but if you've got £1 million in cash, you're all right, aren't you?
No, if you're living in a $25 million house, there's property taxes. There's a lot that goes into the property that you own. So if you're Daniel Kinahan and you hid away $1 million, that's not going to last long. If you have a $25 million property, you got electricity, water, and property taxes to that house. It'll probably only last maybe a year, if that.
Yeah, me and Paddy have done like a few videos on the Kinahans and the hutch food stuff. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Especially that hotel, Regency
Yeah,
Hotel thing.
Regency. Yeah,
but it didn't start there. No one's
yeah.
flopped.
Didn't
Cheers for the £2 Lone Ranger.
Yeah, didn't start there at all.
Started longer than that, innit? Imagine how long he was unknown for and built his thing.
Yeah, is Marvin really is he really homeless?
Marvin Herbert said he's now homeless. Seriously, could that be connected?
Absolutely, that could be connected. They don't. So, like, here's the other thing. This is the reason why the EU today, yesterday, this is the reason why they did. So basically, what they're doing is they're doing the Ireland's cab unit. So they're going after assets. So if you're even suspected of being in a criminal organization or money laundering, they can take all of your assets, seize them, and you can't do shit with that. And what that does is that tests the loyalty of your smaller members, because now your smaller members, they ain't making any money because you're not giving them any money. So like what the Kinahans were so good at is they would give prisoners in Ireland and the UK, they would give them money, and it's kind of like, thank you for not snitching us out money type shit.
Those guys, they were pretty fair then. They were pretty fair.
Yeah, but those guys ain't getting that no more. They're not getting that money. So the loyalty, it's on the brink. So if Marvin Herbert is homeless right now, 100%, like he was with Kinahan, makes sense. Probably the reason why he's not getting money right now.
I think the first time most people heard of Daniel Kinahan was after that hotel attack, and I don't think many people really knew who he was. But if he was in the drug world and that, like, you know, Marvin Herbert and Peter Fury clearly know him fucking well, innit? Is that what Marvin Herbert did a live about? I saw him go live last night. So is that what he's done? Yeah, but surely they can't put you on the streets, like. Surely, even though you're a criminal, you must have rights to have be able to live somewhere, you know?
Well, the main thing is if if Marvin was getting cash from Kinahan and that cash stopped coming in, all of a sudden he's got to find a job. All of a sudden you got to look for new things. So if he is homeless, it's all starting to make sense. That means that they are getting to that organization.
Well, that's a bit weird, but yeah, Lone Ranger. Harlan has a smelly finger. Mate, you can say whatever you want if you keep putting them £2 in, bud. Within reason. You can tell us what you think of Marvin Herbert if you want.
But yeah, I think if Marvin's homeless right now, that's gotta be one of the reasons.
Wow.
Because it was said that Kinahan was giving money. He was giving money to everybody that was either like if they were part of the organization, and let's say they got busted and they went to jail, they were still receiving payments from Kinahan, and it was kind of a form of, this is a payment for your loyalty. So they were receiving monthly payments in jail, and now
you're talking about anybody who was arrested involved with the Kinahan crew or cartel, they were paid while they were in jail, yeah?
Yeah. Like you remember in Spain, the one who was accused for killing Jerry Hutch, or not Jerry Hutch, Gary Hutch.
Yeah.
Uh, he ain't receiving payments right now. None of those guys are. Freddie Thompson, he's not receiving payments. None of those dudes anymore, as far as I know.
I heard that apparently there's over 200 Kinahan cartel associates, gang members in Irish prisons alone,
Yeah,
over 200, yeah?
yeah, there's a lot of them,
And
and
across Europe as well, apparently.
remember, you know Liam Byrne. He's part of the
Yeah.
Byrne. Yeah, so Liam Byrne left. He left the UK right after Thomas Bomber Cavanaugh got busted, and his son was on Instagram flaunting money, doing this and that, and his son all of a sudden was in Dubai, and then his son deleted his whole Instagram right after the U.S. put sanctions. So something's going on. I don't think they're getting any money anymore.
Has Daniel Kinahan ever had any type of social media account, you know?
He did. He had one on Twitter, but he shut it down after it was during Floyd versus Conor McGregor, but it got shut down.
Okay. Did he have anything to do with Floyd and Conor then? He couldn't have done, or did he?
Nah, he didn't have nothing to do with that. Like, but he was like chiming in on it.
Kind of makes you wonder that, you know, like the Proper 12 whiskey, there was a lot of money invested in that, wasn't there? From fucking.
I thought about that too, and Connor's sister is actually seeing Graham the Wig Whalen, who is a big part of the Kinahan organization, and it's a little iffy in there. But I don't think he's dumb. Connor's got plenty of money. I don't think he'd be dumb enough to like put his business in a situation like that.
Well, you just don't know with him, do you? I
mean, you really don't know.
Like, you know, he kind of likes that, doesn't he? But yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But I mean, fucking, if somebody comes to you and says, look, I've got a load of money, I'll give it to you. All you got to do is fucking put your face to this, and then because he's sold it now, hasn't he? Apparently.
Yeah. And did you hear about the war that Conor McGregor's friends were getting into? They were getting into a feud there for a little while.
What, the ones that come over and smash the bus up with him? Them Irish lot.
Yeah. Jonathan, what was it? It was Jonathan and some, I forget what their name. I forget. I know for sure one of the guys' names was Jonathan, and they were two.
Quite Kinahan league though, were they? Them fellas, they're not quite.
It was said that they were buying. It was said that they were buying from a Kinahan, not the Kinahans themselves, but like a middleman.
Yeah. Okay.
And so Conor, remember whenever his pub got firebombed, they attempted to petrol bomb it.
Yeah.
Conor's those two friends got in a shootout. So there was like they shot one of Conor's friends' house. Then there was a couple of petrol bombings on the guy that Ian Mad Dog Maloney, who was beefing with them. They petrol bombed a couple of his family members' houses, and then he was going after Jonathan and shot up one of Jonathan's houses. And then the whole thing ended because God damn it, I just said it. Graham the Wig Whalen got in between and said, "Hey, you guys gotta quit whatever the fuck you're doing because you're putting eyes on not only Conor, but you're putting eyes on everything else." So they stopped right after that.
Right.
That was the word, anyways.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, you could look into everything now, couldn't you? Every Irish fighter, every person who's been involved with the Kinahans.
It's unavoidable. Like if you're growing up in Ireland, you're gonna know a couple of guys that are involved in some shit.
Have they currently got warrants out for any of them? They haven't yet, have they? They're just
no. And the one that I'm telling you guys about, I got a video on it. It's on my YouTube. It's Conor McGregor. I forget what it's called. Conor McGregor and uh, I forget what the fuck I called it, but I got the whole thing on there about his friends and the whole thing.
Yeah, the
I,
monk had loads of money. The old Phil have got quite good at getting money back over the years, isn't it? I mean, they've advanced with it because they can get Bitcoin now as well, can't they? They can fucking
yeah,
trade Bitcoin.
but
Uh,
Bitcoin was a big loss. I think that's the reason why Daniel's really fucking hurting right now because Bitcoin fell. Like, what was it, 50%?
yeah, it's a lot of money, but listen, it was raising too quick though, wasn't it? And it was raising so fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was eventual. It was gonna
Can that be
crash at some
connected
time.
to Kinahan then? The Bitcoin, could you
Oh,
100%? Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely. They combat. They even tried to start their own Bitcoin called Combat Coin, and that was headed by a guy called Thomas Stray, whose real name is Thomas Og, I believe, from the Netherlands, who's an infamous. He's an infamous like con man, and he's actually linked to companies that Daniel Kinahan is like Investec. He's linked to Investec in Dubai, and you can look up Thomas Stray, Google him, you'll find him, Thomas Stray, and they'll put down his real name, Thomas Og, I believe it is, out of Switzerland, and he was facing the biggest bankruptcy case in Switzerland history, 320 something million.
Wow.
Yeah, now he's in Dubai and he's basically working for Kinahan pretty much, and other criminals.
How much was it monthly, Paddy, they was paying to cartel members? 2 million. I don't think it'll be 2 million.
I really don't know. I just know that was it. It's what was said, but I've talked to dudes that are in Mount Joy and shit, and it's confirmed, but it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was like for smaller members, maybe 200 euros, maybe here,
What,
like a
as a
month.
payment for going to jail? A one-off payment, is that?
Yeah. It was just a payment, a monthly payment, pretty much not to snitch.
Right. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Probably be easier to have them whacked, wouldn't it? Or shanked up in prison.
Yeah, I mean they could have whacked, and these aren't even like low level. They're kind of like mid level dudes that they pay off. The low level guys they leave alone because the low level guys don't know. They don't know who they're getting shit from. They just receive it and do what they do with it. But the middlemen or like a little bit higher up, they'll know, well, I'm talking to this guy or I'm talking to this guy, and then that guy eventually leads over to straight to Daniel.
El Plomo, El Plato. Um,
Did you
yeah.
know Steve
So
Wraith?
yeah, you interviewed Steve Rice, didn't you?
Yeah. Steve's a good guy.
How do you follow a YouTube channel called Troubled
Troubled
Lands?
Land.
It's amazing. It's that Irish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
That's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of fucking things you can, a lot of kind of work. Do you reckon the DEA and that have fucking put this thing out, right? And they're actually realizing now how hard work it is, because the fact that they were paying their, let's call them generals, still in prison, that does show. That's probably why he's fucking got away with things for so long, and no one's fucked him
Yeah.
over.
So the DEA, the United States, they actually came to the EU and they gave the EU. They said, look, we all need to work as a because the U.S. The U.S. is huge, so we have states, and the biggest thing for the FBI or the DEA is that states didn't integrate with each other, which now they do. They integrate with each other. So it was a lot like what was going on between these European Union countries is that they didn't really like integrate. They didn't. If one guy got busted in one part, and say he had like a whole another series of charges in another country, these countries didn't correlate with each other, so they didn't know the extent of how big these guys have gotten. So the Kinahans were kind of they kind of got away with all that shit. But now there's this 2021 to 2025 EU criminal organization plan where all these countries now in the European Union are now they're settling on what laws are we going to because there's different laws between country from country, but they're settling on what laws do we have that are the same in between each other, and they're going to make one system throughout all those countries. So now if a guy's name pops up and you put him in the system, his name will pop up in maybe 3 more countries, and they'll be like, we got something right here. So
what's
then
that, kind of like Interpol, yeah? Like the Interpol and
kind of like that. So now they can the police units from those different countries can integrate with each other and say, all right, what do we do about this? And now they can have a full-on investigation, not from country to country, but as countries, they can do it both together.
Right. Do you think that, I know this is going to be a serious question because a lot of people are worrying about this. Do you think at some point soon we're all going to run out of cocaine?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
you've heard it here, yeah?
I think it's getting pretty serious right now.
They're picking up a lot of shipping containers and all that are coming over. I see one yesterday.
Yeah.
Fucking had about 40 tons on it or something crazy, man.
Yeah, so prices are they're gonna go up, or which they're probably not gonna stop it completely, but they're definitely gonna go up in that case.
Well, you're gonna probably find a lot of smaller little, like, I was gonna say not say cartels, but you know, a lot of fucking smaller groups are probably gonna try and come up with ways, isn't it, to do it, to get it in.
Yeah, since you know about that guy Oatnell that I was talking about from Colombia.
Yeah,
he was just as big as Pablo Escobar. They busted him. He's snitching. He snitched to Colombia. He was telling them all the political members and everything that he was talking to. And now he's in the U.S. And from what I heard, he's snitching in the U.S. right now. They're asking him names and he's giving them. And the bad news about Oatnell is that he was in business with Kinahan, big players like that. So who knows what he's giving up.
So potentially for them, the DEA and that's the fucking biggest fish they could catch, isn't it? Like there ain't no one bigger they could have had as an informant at this time.
Nah, Daniel's not even the biggest guy either. Like what the U.S. is, who the U.S. is trying to catch, they're trying to catch this guy called Edin Goshinen. And
yeah, I've heard of him.
He's the big dog. He's from not Bulgaria. I want to say the Balkan. He's from the Balkan, somewhere over there in the Balks. And that's where all the cocaine comes in from, is that area. And that's the man, like he's the guy who controls the cocaine trade right now.
All right. From Europe, yeah?
Yeah.
From Europe,
yeah, it's from Europe.
Was he one of the ones at Kinahan's wedding?
Yep. 2017. And Joe Mencho mentioned he's from the Tito and Dino clan. He's the biggest guy. Well, one of the biggest guys. There's another guy called the Skull from his country who has like, dude, the guy had a whole fucking illegal art house. Like he had a warehouse full of fucking art that they just busted. Bosnia, that's where it's from. Bosnia,
wow. Well, see, yeah. Bosnia in the 90s. I mean, we had a few, not many, but there was a point in the 90s when I was at school that a few Bosnians were coming over because obviously it was quite shit there for a long, long time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Bosnia. I don't know what it's like now, to be honest. You don't really hear about it on the news anymore. No one talks about Bosnia now, do they?
Yeah. And Bosnia's where's the so the Marengo trial right now, they're waiting on Ridwan. So I like through the Netherlands, they're actually you can get criminal files from the Netherlands, like you know that the torture chambers that they found in the shipping containers.
Yeah.
You can get the full files from that right now because they convicted those guys. So with the Marengo trial, you cannot get shit until Ridwan Taghi is until he's convicted. So I'm waiting on. So the last thing that I heard of Ridwan Taghi, he was pretty much waiting on. They caught his escape. They're still doing the trial, but as soon as that trial's done, we'll know. We'll get the paperwork from that whole trial, so we'll be able to see everything.
I think we spoke about this before, but remind me again, what's the connection like with Holland? There's fucking a lot of people have set up shops in Holland. The Kinahans, you know, and the guy we spoke about the other week, the guy from Liverpool.
Yeah. And there's another fella in Newcastle that recently got into a car wreck. Recently, that's a big fucking clue for you guys. He recently got into a car wreck who I heard was buying shit directly from the Kinahans, and now I heard he's losing an arm. I heard he's snitching though too. Yeah, so the connection between them is that so Daniel Kinahan, they were trying to take, so the Kinahans were trying to take Marbella, Spain as a hub. And Marbella at the time was it was pretty much run by this guy named Sair Brokovich, something like that. And he was from Holland, but he was of Moroccan descent. Now, he was the big dog. He was like a billionaire that kind of ran Marbella, Spain at the time. Ridwan Taghi's group, Naful Fassi and those guys, they went to go meet up with Sair. Sair got shot in the back of the head. Naful Fassi and them walked away. The Kinahans ultimately gained Marbella as a hub. And then that's where you see Ridwan Taghi and Daniel Kinahan. Another one was Raffaele Imperiale, who owned a coffee shop in Holland. Raffaele Imperiale, but Raffaele Imperiale was feeding cocaine to a group in the Camorra family in Italy, in Naples, Italy. And then you got Edin Goshinen, who is basically your supplier for Bosnia. And then you got Otanel El Rico. So El Rico spoke Spanish, lived in Holland, spoke Spanish though. So he was the connection between Otanel and those guys. So they called it a super cartel. And we've seen all of them have went down one by one. It was El Rico, Saeed Razuki got busted in Colombia. Then you see Ridwan Taghi got busted in Dubai. And then Raffaele Imperiale, he recently just got extradited from Dubai to Italy. So the last one left was Daniel, but Daniel's not actually the last one left. Eden is the last one left.
Technically, you could say there will never ever be another fucking. There will always be someone left, won't there? Someone to step up.
Yeah. There's always going to be someone.
Sorry, mate. See all this. They're getting everyone to turn, right? They're getting people to turn. How long do you think it's actually going to be for them to build a case till I can actually arrest them? Because they've got so many people that they're turning. This could turn into years. This case, you know.
Oh, they got people right now, guaranteed. The U.S. One thing about the U.S. is they don't go after people until they got enough evidence to go after them. And an example that I could give you guys is you guys know that rapper Young Thug. He's this rapper. He's pretty big. So Young Thug started a gang called the Slime Gang over here in the U.S. and they were dealing methamphetamine and cocaine and a bunch of other stuff. From 2012 until 2022, the FBI have been collecting evidence, doing this and that, and they arrested Young Thug along with every other member of that crew. And you should see the amount of evidence that they got. It's a mountain because they have a 98% conviction rate. They don't go after people until they have absolutes. And so the US, they aren't going to go after Daniel Kinahan or any of those guys unless they have absolutes, at which they do. They have El Rico. El Rico got busted. He had pictures on his cell phone of Daniel Kinahan's wedding. And that's what really alerted to the U.S. But we don't. The other thing is, I don't know how true that is. We got to wait till this Marengo trial is done to figure out what evidence they really do have, because the Marengo trial it's very important, because once it's done, we'll figure out just how much evidence the U.S. or any other country has on them.
Can the US they can't give the death penalty to them, can they?
Mm-mm.
No. Right. Why is that? Because the crimes have not been committed in a state with a death penalty.
Yeah, it would basically, like, if they did ever get Kinahan, it would be federal. So there's no real death penalty.
Right.
Even if he did kill a bunch of people, all the U.S. is going to do is they're going to stick him in a supermax, which is basically it's worse than death. You're in a cell 23 hours a day. Not even that. You're in there 24 hours a day. For 3 days a week, you get out for a shower for an hour, and that's it. By yourself. No
you
human
just
contact.
said yourself as well. Someone's made the point here. You said yourself, like we said, we've been saying this since the beginning. Once the US government want to fuck you over, they don't need evidence.
Yeah.
That's corrupt, though, isn't it?
Well, no, they need evidence, which they're gonna have, but the U.S. isn't gonna set their sights until it's affecting them. And if you look at Daniel, his companies were coming into U.S. territory, so basically, I don't know if it was affecting them or if it was the pressure of Ireland itself, because the commissioner, Drew Harris, had actually went to Washington, D.C. in 2021. And a couple of months after, that's when they did that EU 2021 to 2025 plan. So I think it was kind of both. I think it was pressure, and the U.S. was getting info already on him. They had info from 2009 on Daniel Kinahan already.
So that's 13 years ago, and we can trace him back 20 odd years to having known connections here. So to get them connections 20 years ago, he must have already been quite big in the business.
Yeah.
So we've got about an 8-year period where no one really knew about him, and he was building it up. And he did it quietly, didn't he? So that's why he got so big, the quietness.
And the worst mistake for Daniel was whenever he put MTK on U.S. soil. And not only U.S. soil, he put it in Canada. There's a Canadian MTK gym. There's one in Miami, Florida. There's another one in Tucson, Arizona. And they tried to bully their way in. That's the Eric Montalvo, that lawyer that I was talking to. He's the reason why they're doing the lawsuit on MTK and Daniel Kinahan, is because they tried to steal Jojo Diaz from another trainer, from another promoter. So there was that, and Bob Arum. I don't even think Bob Arum comes clean out of this. I think Bob Arum gets fucked. I I think there's going to be a full deal on boxing itself, like where a lot of people are going to get fucked.
Yeah, Benny, I won't be surprised, mate, if they've already got some of his dough, you know. I won't be surprised already.
Yeah.
They've got assets, haven't they? They've got some assets, so technically they've got his money already, haven't they? And look, they say they're freezing him, yeah? He's never getting them assets back, is he?
You'll never get them back. Like, you have to prove it. So I did find a case. I found a case where the guy actually proved it, and so in 2009 they mentioned Daniel Kinahan going over to Northern Africa. Now the guy that was mentioned, I looked him up. The guy had actually beat the case against the U.S. He actually took the sanctions. The U.S. sanctioned this dude from the U.K. and he beat it. And the U.S. took the sanctions off and unfroze his money, so he got all of his money back.
Right. Was that to do with guns, that one?
No, it was to do. So what was going on is that this guy was he was pumping money into the mining sector of North Africa, the diamond district, and so he was he was getting money from Daniel Kinahan as well, but the U.S. So when I looked up the dude's case, the U.S. could not prove that. The only thing that they could prove was Daniel Kinahan, but at the time, Daniel Kinahan had beat the Spanish case and all that shit. So basically, the U.S. had to give his money back, like, because they couldn't prove anything. It was a money laundering scheme, but it was one that the U.S. couldn't prove. So they actually took the sanction off and gave him his money back, unfroze his money.
All right, so I'm presuming, right, because I've seen there's a TV show called Jungle Gold that was on a few years ago. I'm presuming they bought a load of land in Africa and said that they got shitloads of gold from it.
Basically, yeah. Basically, that was that's kind of what was going on.
Wow, mate, to even think of that and go and do that in Africa, the money they must have had, mate, to launder, fucking hell.
Oh, it goes deep, man. It go Robert Mink Cock. He just got busted not long ago in Lebanon, and they sent him to the Netherlands. So who knows what happens with that? That's another one. That's a whole another kicker. And Robert does not like the Kinahans.
Yeah, Lone Wolf. It was Ray Liotta, but somehow we always end up on the Kinahans, don't we? It's all mafia related, isn't it?
Dude, the Kinahans, it's crazy because the Kinahans got so big. The reason why the EU is putting all these restrictions and they're doing all this shit is because of the Kinahans. They don't want an organization to get that big ever again.
Do you reckon Daniel Kinahan's watched Goodfellas, the film?
Oh, I guarantee
100%.
100.
You reckon he's like, I bet he goes, "What the fuck is the matter with you, Tommy? Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah.
If
he did, he should have took notes because he should have. The worst thing that Daniel could have done was trying to go public. Like that was the worst thing he could have done.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Starshine, like he did go on the radar for quite a while, and we don't really know. We know of 20 years back, but he must have been doing it before that, like even so.
Oh yeah.
How do you reckon he started? Do you reckon he started knocking out a few bags of fucking weed on fucking in Dublin or something?
No. I'll tell you. Hold on. Let me take a piss. I'll be right back.
Well, there you go then, because Christy Kinahan was obviously a criminal, wasn't he? A known criminal. But I think he done money fraud. Anyone on Instagram, right? Do you get messages from people? Yeah, they add you. You look on their profile, you think they're all right, and then within 10 minutes they're sending you a message saying, "What would you do with £1,000, like in your bank account, like?" And you're like, "Fuck off, will you?" And one of them even started chatting to me the other week, pretending he was a fighter, and they went, "Can you do me a favour?" I was like, "What?" And he started saying he ain't got any money for fuel or something. And I was like, "For fuck's sake." Who's this guy? Fight and Talk. You got a channel? Yeah. You're on it, buddy. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like no one gives anything away for free, do they? Like, and it's fucking weird, isn't it? And they start off with, "Hi, how are you?" And I know a few people, their accounts have been hacked, right? And they started messaging me and then send that, so I know it ain't them. And then they send it again a month later. I don't know whether they can hack people's accounts without people fucking realizing they're sending it. Beggars everywhere. What do you mean beggars everywhere? Where's beggars? His dad was boss at first. Doubt he done bits. Yeah, little 10 bags, isn't it? Running around the streets as a 12-year-old. Like, one day, son, you'll run this town. And fuck me, he took his dad's word, then he ended up running the whole of Europe. Go on, tell us how he got into it.
All right, so it wasn't Daniel, it was Christy.
Yeah.
So Christy sold, like, he did a lot of con shit. That's why they called him the Dapper Don. He was always dressed very good and everything. And he ended up going to jail in the 80s from heroin charges. So the thing was is that they gave him, so whenever they busted him, they actually found language tapes. So he had language tapes, linguist tapes in his house. So he did like it was a 4-year bid, but they offered to let him out in 2 years. So like, let's say, Dan, you're doing a 4-year bid. Would you want to get out? And like, if they offered you, all right, you're 2 years, you'll get out. Like, would you get out in those 2 years?
Here.
He didn't. He said, "Nah, leave me in for the extra two," because he was
Right.
learning. He was learning multiple languages. Like he
That's
was
Christy,
learning.
isn't it? Yeah, because he can speak what?
Yeah,
Dutch, Russian.
it's conflicting. A lot of people say, yeah, Dutch, Russian. Definitely, like he definitely knows Spanish. So that's one
Right.
language that we do know. Dutch is a definite as well, but the other ones were Russian and Arabic, or no,
Right.
French. So, but those are disputed. So he learns those languages. He goes over to he immediately moves. He moves out of Ireland. He goes to Amsterdam. And then he hooks up with that's when him and Bomber Kavanaugh kind of hooked up, and he had another guy, Joe Cunningham. So Cunningham was a big dude too, and they were dealing in, like, first they dealt with arms, with guns and shit like that, automatic rifles.
Was that to do
And
with Africa? Was that, did they get the guns from Africa? I keep hearing about guns with them from Africa.
that was part of that was one of the debates about that, was that they said that Christie learned French so he could deal with West Africans.
Which a lot of can't narcs speak that language as well. You know, in Colombia, the narc that's a
Yeah.
language they're familiar with as well, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. And so as soon as he got into that, he kind of got from somewhere in between. He got into the cocaine trade. So they started doing like marijuana, cocaine, stuff like that, and then eventually his two sons got involved. So there was Christy Jr. and Daniel Kinahan. Now Daniel kind of ran the south of Dublin for a little bit with the help of the Hutches. The Hutches were from the north, so Gary Hutch, those guys, they kind of helped Daniel in taking over all of Dublin. Oh, good night, PP. So they kind of helped him take over all of Dublin, and as soon as that happened, they eventually went to Spain. Now, Christie, he did get into trouble. Like he had a money laundering thing. I think it was in Bulgaria. I could be wrong. But he had a money laundering charge. But so they went to Spain, started dealing from there. And then that's kind of where Daniel Kinahan kind of took the reins. And Daniel had a passion for boxing. So they started the MGM gym. Daniel, I think, started money laundering through MGM, now MTK, it's known as. And and it just kind of went from there. Like Daniel really pushed it, and Christy Kinahan Jr. was so good at money laundering. Spain had a major case, major but they couldn't even keep up with it because there was not hundreds, but it was so many businesses and so many people involved. They just couldn't put two and two together. It was impossible. So they had to they dropped the whole case against them. But obviously Gary Hutch, he had done a big bank robbery. He wanted Daniel Kinahan to launder the money for him. At the same time, Daniel knew that the Spanish police were watching him. So it was hard to launder money, and there was a scuffle in between that. And Gary Hutch tried to kill Daniel. Daniel ended up killing him later on, and you got this big war that happened between the Hutch, because the Hutches and the Kinahans were really friends from the get go, and then they just turned into enemies because of all the.
The Hutch wanted him out the way, though, didn't they? That's what started it.
It was basically because of Gary Hutch. He just got impatient
and then got killed for his
mm-hmm.
impatience. And because Jerry had tried to pay, didn't he, to have it all fucking done and dusted.
Yeah, but even though they did that, even after they paid, it's said, now I don't know if this is for sure, but Christy, ruthless motherfucker, Christy was like, hell nah. He was like, if somebody tries to kill us, we need to make an example. So they still went after him even after the payment.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. For Lone Wolf, you come in to speak about Ray Liotta, so we're going to talk about Art Hostage. All right. We are going to talk about Ray Liotta. Obviously, the character who plays was called Henry Hill, wasn't it? And Martin Scorsese, fucking after he got done and out of prison, I think Martin Scorsese might have gone and met him in prison actually. And Henry Hill was a bullshitter, wasn't he? He was a blagger. He wasn't a proper. He was half Irish and half Italian, I believe. And he wasn't a full Irish, was he? So he could never become made like Jimmy. You know, fucking Jimmy Burke, with the character Robert De Niro played. He was a fucking psychopath. They even said that in the film they toned him down. He was the one they was all fucking scared of, other than Paulie, wasn't it? Because he was a fucking nutcase.
Oh, dude, there was some in the 70s and 80s. It was like a golden time for the mob because that's when you had the most serial killers of all time, and it was so easy to get away with murder back in the day.
Someone said, ask this again. Are you doing Scottish, whatever that means?
Yeah, I am doing the Scottish. So Macro Mafia is coming out first. Celtic, right, so don't even ask who's the Yank. Celtic, you know who the fuck I am, son of a bitch.
We've been talking about Kinahan, so let's compare something, right? When Henry Hill turned informer on the mafia, he turned on Paulie, he turned on everyone. Yeah, that one person managed to take down that whole gang. When you think about the size of the Kinahan gang and how many people are going to be involved for taking him down, it just shows you the scale of the Kinahans compared to even the mafia.
I could give you somebody bigger than the Kinahans. Say-Lo Chope. He just got busted, and he was so big that Australia, he took a flight. He was taking an airplane from Canada to Taiwan. And as soon as Australia got alerted that he was taking a flight, Australia said, land in the Netherlands because we got a guy on there that we want. And they actually diverted the plane, landed in the Netherlands, and they busted this dude named Say-Lo Chope. Say-Lo Chope was a billionaire, billions he was making. And it was off of meth, but how he got so big is because it was less violence. If a drug dealer, if the shipment came in and it got busted, they would say, "Don't worry, you don't have to pay us back. We'll send in another shipment," because methamphetamine was so cheap to make. And this guy, he owned the Golden Triangle of it was Australia, Asia, Japan, China. He pretty much ran that whole spot from Canada.
Yeah, that's very true. Sorry, Art Hostage. It was Tommy, wasn't it? They set him up to be killed. But that's what I was saying. See, Jimmy Burke, he couldn't get made, could he? But he was so fucking. They were still scared of him, even though he'd never be a made man. They still were fucking scared of him. Even the made men were. And according to the story, it was when Tommy was going to get made, it was like they were going to get made, wasn't it? Like he
Yeah.
was a bit of a bullshitter, that Henry Hill. So you can't really, you've got to see Goodfellas as a film, isn't it?
That's a picture of Say Lee Chope. I
Oh, okay.
pronounced it
Where's he
wrong.
from?
Canada, but he was born in China and raised in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And they call him the Jeff Bezos. He's the biggest drug dealer ever caught. The richest, anyways.
Ask if he knows Sean Atwood. He probably does know Sean Atwood. If he's just been chatting through.
Yeah. I got a couple problems with Sean Atwood.
Oh.
His jail story is a little off.
Yeah, but I saw a video of him last night. His bird's quite fit, to be fair. They was out with Stansby Podcast and Jamie Boyle. So Sean Atwood's bird's quite alright, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Sean Atwood I think he's a fantastic interviewer. He's way better than I am. Like, I can't interview like he does, but I heard his prison story here in America. It didn't make any sense. Like,
did you watch Locked Up Abroad, or Banged Up Abroad, as you call it there? Is that the one you watched?
No, it was his it was his interview. I think it was like Marvin Herbert had asked him.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like he was testing him out, wasn't he? He was testing him.
Yeah, there was like serious holes in it, but that like I said, I didn't hear much after that. So
no, I don't really watch him. But him and James English, they both become rich men from being podcasters. So fair play, innit? They don't really James English don't get involved with all this shit, innit? Sean Atwood, apparently people say does, but I don't really watch, innit? Some of Sean Atwood's podcasts are like 4 hours, and that's a bit hypocritical when we did a 16-hour live once. But I mean, it changes in here, doesn't it? You get the same person on the screen like that. But he's had some good people, isn't it? But there was a point, right, where James English and Sean Atwood, they would all have the same people within a few weeks of each other, and it was getting a bit like, then Decker Eggy made his podcast, didn't he? And started fucking interviewing. But the only one, James and that, and the only one, and Stansby's, he's got a good podcast. There's a couple of others on my Insta.
I don't have a problem with
Mayo. He's good.
I don't have a problem with James at all. Like James does a good job. Like he did a lot better than me with Danny Simpson. Like fucking Danny. Like Jesus, I tried interviewing that guy. He didn't really like give me too much. But James, fantastic interviewer. So is Sean, but just Sean, like this. I don't know. That story was some bullshit, bro. Like, if I got busted with a shit ton of ecstasy, I'd be in county and then I'd go to prison for a lot of years. That's a Schedule I drug. You just don't get out.
Fuck me. Everyone's going to be calling him a copper's pencil now.
I'm not saying that but I'm saying he embellished maybe that story. Like, there's just no fucking way.
Yeah, well, we kind of said that he fucking dealt with, I think it was Michael Franzese. And then Michael Franzese went and was like, I don't know the fuck you are. Or it might have been Sammy the Bull, actually. I think it might have been Sammy the Bull. But yeah, the guy I interviewed the other night, JC, he was running in the Mexican cartel. He's going to be on the next
Yeah,
season of Locked Up Abroad.
I was watching that. That guy was a good interview.
Yeah, he was quite cool, wasn't
he? Mm-hmm.
he messaged the day after. He was quite appreciative. And the really cool one is Quentin Henry, the BKFC star I interviewed last night. I got a voice message from his mum today. It was fucking well cool. She was like, in a really deep fucking Southern American accent, "Thank you for everything you've done for my son. You like support him." And I was like, "Oh my God." So big shout out Quentin Hero Henry's mum. They're probably not listening to this, but
See, I would interview that dude, but it's too close to home for me.
yeah, you just take the English ones and I'll take the American ones, innit?
Yeah.
You hook me up with
We'll
fucking
trade
them and
off.
I'll sort you out. But you had it with Dean last week, didn't you? They're fucking unreliable, some people, innit? Like, Dean generally forgot, though, innit?
No, it happens. You like Darren G. It took me a couple of times to finally get him on, like, because there was such a big time difference. So I wasn't surprised when Dean didn't come on. I was like, fuck. And I was at work, so I didn't really get a chance to hit him up and let him know, hey, today we're like, we're coming on. So that was a big issue. It's happened to me quite a few times, more often than not.
Yeah, I've had it a few times with an American
Yeah.
lady. I don't know how we fucked up, mate, but I was waiting for her, and she messaged me at 1 in the morning and went, "Are you still doing it?" And I was like, fuck. It
Yeah.
depends where in America you're from and all, but I've worked out, right, if I put it on YouTube, they can then see what time it is. So they can't get confused then. Do you know what I mean? If it's
Yeah.
on there as a set reminder.
Yeah, that's what I do. I put it on YouTube and then I send the feed and I'll be like, is that time good with you? That's the first thing that I do.
Escobar, no, I've heard that El Chapo had more money than Escobar, and I've also heard the one that we was talking about earlier was either equally as rich or richer. But
Oh
you know,
no, say Lee Chope was richer. He had 3 times more money than El Chapo or anybody. Say Chilo, yeah.
which is
Biggest drug dealer ever.
which is crazy, isn't it? Like, where were they cooking up the meth?
I don't various countries. Like
Right.
he was just pretty much he was the he was kind of like the head guy. He just did the shipments, where they were going to go, who it was going to go to. They dealt with violence. Like he didn't kill anybody, nothing like that. He just kind of, that's how he avoided for so long. But Australia, that big bust that they did, and Joseph Parker was involved in that
Well,
fucking
we
major
spoke
meth
about this
bust.
before. One thing I've noticed, right? Joseph Parker is now always knocking around with Tyson Fury, isn't he? Like,
Yeah,
I wonder how long they've known each other in in the real world.
yeah, and Joseph Parker. A lot of people were saying, well, they dropped the charge. They didn't drop the charges. Joseph Parker is still under investigation currently.
I don't think the Joe Joyce fight's happening now either because
Yeah, they took
I
it
see
off.
Frank Warren in it the other day put a poster up with Just Joe in it. So why has he been taken off the card? Do they know something we
I,
don't?
I, I heard it was because Joseph Parker's main trainer, his wife is having a baby, so they moved it.
Okay, that's what's his name? The Traveller fella.
Uh,
Billy Joe Saunders beat him.
Lee something.
Yeah, Lee. The good thing is someone in the chat will always race to put it to be the first one, isn't it? Someone, it will be there, right? Oh, rest in peace, Pablo. Yeah, big shout out to Pablo. His work has been very, very underestimated, isn't it? To die on a
Yeah.
roof like that, it was just so unjust. But like Paddy said the other week, Saddam Hussein was in a hole in the ground eating fucking Mars bars.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine how
Saddam.
bored you'd get of Mars bars. Fucking hell, like just eating Mars bars.
And to say that Saddam was completely like his sons, they would his sons were fucking
All
psychopaths.
right,
His
let's talk
sons.
about Uday Hussein. He was a fucking lunatic, wasn't
Oh, dude. They were feeding fucking alleged criminals to dogs and shit.
he? He went and shot his uncle and all, didn't he? Because his uncle had that fucking girl, didn't he? And he went in and fucking just shot him up, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. They
And the
were
wedding,
little evil fucks.
that wedding he went to, he took the fucking bride from the wedding, didn't he? Raped her and threw her out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, and no one could do fuck all about it, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Saddam Hussein was an evil motherfucker, man.
But a lot of Iraqis say that the country was better when he was there in charge because he wouldn't, although they were under a regime, they didn't have fucking they didn't have like the Taliban or nothing there. They was under one regime, innit? But now since
Yeah.
Saddam's gone, they've all fled there.
Just like Gaddafi. Gaddafi was doing good for his country, and he pretty much got targeted by the U.S.
Yeah.
Gaddafi wasn't the best person, but he was. What was it? Libya. They were doing very good.
Well, look, this is a lesson. If anyone wants to bubble up Daniel Kinahan, especially Bob Arum, they didn't even fucking pay the one who bubbled up Saddam Hussein and all. So, because Bin Laden, no one grasped on him, did they? That was fucking years of intelligence and fucking real hard fucking work, didn't it?
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein carried mass to grow farms, food, and live.
And you should see what the U.S. has now. They have fucking satellites now, allegedly. When I've been researching this whole UFO like this UAP shit that's been going on in the U.S., we have satellites that it's insane the amount of like how close they can get just to they could follow a car and shit with the satellite. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone. Well, they can fucking, in that TV show, what's it called? With Michael Brody, his name was. He was a war veteran, and they kidnapped him at war, and he'd come back. And he come back, and he was a terrorist. They trained him to be a terrorist, but he come back, and he was like an American fucking hero with a blonde lady, and it was out a few years ago. But they did it in that. They were looking for a guy with a fucking. They showed in that the drone. Yeah, they get the drone. It's quite far up, but it can see them, and it fucking can individually target them. Well, within reason,
Yeah.
And all these TV shows, they give it away, man. They're not far out with the truth, are they?
No, and the U.S. is fairly in deep with the UK. Like, I mean, the DEA, they help the Netherlands with all kinds of investigations. They have CCTV. Like, the U.S. they get shit from everywhere. It's insane. They're highly advanced.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Mind you, so the Russians, isn't it? Even the Ukrainians, they've got a lot of fucking little drone things and that. Like dropping onto tanks and that, haven't they? Bin Laden. Is Bin Laden really dead? None of us saw any evidence of him dying, did we? It's just a film.
Who knows? Bin Laden's probably at he's on Guantanamo Bay getting tortured right now.
Yep. But so, Bin Laden, right? All these others. See that drug lord, yeah, he turned on everyone. Bin Laden, if they caught him, Bin Laden would never have fucking turned, would he? He would not have spoke to the fucking Americans.
I don't know. Bin Laden was kind of a rich boy. Did you ever look at Bin Laden's, like, how he grew up?
Yeah, he was, yeah, like, about 7 years before 9/11, he started taking his families on long walks through the mountains and that, and they all got fucked off, didn't they? Because he was doing it, but he was training himself, wasn't he? Because he knew, didn't he?
He was even from Saudi Arabia. Like Bin Laden was. His family was very. His dad owned a pretty major uh, construction business.
Yeah,
They were
but they
very
got
rich.
kicked out of there, didn't they? Is that right? They
Yeah,
got kicked
yeah.
out of it.
Because of Bin Laden. Bin Laden got super extremist.
Yeah, well, I mean, blowing them towers up, it was a bit extreme, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's one of the events in a lifetime you never forget, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you reckon there's a day that goes by where that footage, somebody doesn't watch that footage? I
No,
don't
no.
reckon a day goes by with it, man.
I think about it pretty much all the time. It's crazy as shit.
Well, if you see anything like Saddam Hussein on TV or even Bin Laden, it just reminds you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Dan, I gotta bounce out for a little bit. I gotta let my laptop
Yeah, mate.
charge.
I've got to get up and get my boy in the morning, so I might leave it here. Do you want to open a live on yours for everyone once you sort it out? Or?
Yeah, yeah. Once I get my laptop charged, I'll start it live.
All right, Paddy, I'll start a live in a bit then, so I'm going to go in it. I've got the boy in the morning. Thanks everyone for coming in, innit? Like, I
All right,
hope
Dan.
everyone watches fucking Goodfellas over the weekend, innit? And has
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little tear, innit? But still the best bit, innit? When he says I'm a funny guy, innit? A funny guy, funny how. Shout out everyone. I'll see you
All
over the
right,
weekend
everybody.
at
I'll
some
see you
point.
guys later.
See you
Dan, it was
later on,
nice
Paddy.
talking to you.
Yeah, you too, buddy. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, I'll
Cheers,
see y'all
pal. See
later.
you later on, bud.